May I clarify what occurred so that we can stop talking about the muffins?
We are here to talk about the muffins. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we're talking about my favorite, Dr. Shannon Curry. You guys, if you're like me and you've become completely obsessed with the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard of it all, I'm sure you've heard of Dr. Curry. And if you haven't, that's okay. We are going to talk about her and talk about why we can't stop talking about the muffins. I have been dying to make this video. So many of you reached out to request this one, and I'm excited to bring it to you. Today we're talking about Dr. Shannon Curry. She is a clinical and forensic psychologist in both California and Hawaii, and she was hired by Johnny Depp's team, and she spent a lot of time with Amber Heard. And you guys, she is my hero. She really is. Not because she spent time with Amber Heard, but because of the way she handled herself in court. I love her so much, and we are going to deep dive into some of her best moments taking the stand and her diagnosis of Amber Heard as borderline personality and histrionic personality, and talk about what exactly that means. So let's get into this video. Gonna get back into this, but first I have to show you, YouTube just added the thanks button. If you're so inclined, hit that button. Anything tipped through that will go straight toward the purchase of my new microphone that I'm saving for. I'm saving for the microphone, the soundboard, the microphone stand, everything you need to elevate this show. And I'm super excited about it. And a huge thank you to all who have contributed. You just have no idea how much that means to me. It's been just completely overwhelming and wonderful, and I appreciate every one of you. So, in case you've been living under a rock or just not keeping up with the case as much as I have become obsessed with it, this is Dr. Shannon Curry, and I love her. She is so incredibly smart and witty, and that was one of my favorite things so far to come out of this case is her time on the stand. She just was so well spoken, and I love the way she handled Elaine, who is, if you're not sure who that is, of course Amber Heard's attorney, as I like to call her, Attorney Karen. Elaine gets completely flustered anytime anybody objects to anything. She doesn't know what to do with herself and goes, and I just find that hysterical, but that's beside the point. Let's talk about Dr. Curry. So Dr. Curry took the stand to say she was hired by Depp's team to, I don't know if the word is diagnose, but she did a bunch of tests with Amber Heard and went through her diagnosis of what she experienced with Amber Heard. So it's fascinating. It's, again, one of my favorite parts of the trial so far was her testimony. And I'm going to show you some of my favorite parts, some of the highlights in this video.
And you also have only been practicing approximately 8 years, is that correct?
That's not correct.
How many years?
I've been licensed for 10 years, and I've been practicing for about 15 years.
So do you feel the love already? Because I sure do. So Elaine can't keep the facts straight. That's another matter. But yeah, so Dr. Curry has been around for a long time. She's been practicing for 15 years. I mean, hello. Yeah, I just like watching these two butt heads because there's a lot of passive-aggressive stuff going on when they go back and forth with the questioning.
You went to Mr. Depp's home for dinner and drinks.
Okay, I'm running that back right here. I'm zooming in. Take a look at her facial expression when Elaine brings this up. You'll see why. It's something that's brought up a lot, the dinner and the drinks, and also the muffins, which we'll get to.
Before you were hired as an expert in this case, correct?
That's not quite right. I was interviewed at Mr. Depp's home by his legal team.
Okay, I'm going to cut through the bullshit here because there's quite a bit of it. But this comes up. She explains, no. In a case like this with a high-profile celebrity, I consulted with somebody else. I ended up going to his house. There was dinner served. I may have had a drink, but it was still part of the interview process. Not interviewing him, but her being interviewed of her credentials from his team. This has been something discussed. It's been brought up. Clearly, Elaine knows about it. You know what I mean? It's talked about, whatever. And Elaine cannot let this go. So just watch. I'm going to cut through a lot. There's a lot of objections. I'm going to cut through those and just show you Elaine circle back to this quite a bit.
Dinner was served.
And the dinner lasted approximately 3 to 4 hours, correct?
Yes.
And it included
The interview.
drinks, correct?
Yes, dinner and I believe drinks were served.
Okay.
Yes, this was an interview so that they could make an informed decision as to whether or not to retain me. I was interviewed by the legal team.
And he was serving dinner and drinks.
He was
Correct.
not serving dinner and drinks.
Well, it was at his house, at his behest, correct? And at that time, you not only knew Johnny Depp, you'd seen a number of his TV and movie roles, and you believed he was a good actor, correct?
Not correct. I did not know Johnny Depp. I
Well,
had
you knew
seen
of
several of
him.
his movies.
You knew who he was,
Yes.
right? And you believed he was a good actor, correct?
Yes. I did not provide an expert designation. That's an attorney thing. My opinions are contained in my report.
Year after you went to dinner at Mr. Depp's house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It says Dr. Curry will testify, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what's actually happening here is Elaine's trying to say that she'd made up her mind before actually conducting the tests with Amber Heard. But Dr. Curry saying that's not at all what happened. I went into this without an opinion. And Elaine is getting hung up on this piece of paper, I guess, where they, you have to announce in court that that this doctor is going to testify after she came to her conclusion. But they're kind of dancing around that. And the doctor's trying to say, no, Elaine, I was just hired to testify. They knew that I could go either way with my diagnosis. And Elaine's trying to say, no, you knew you were going to testify to this before you even met with Amber Heard. So that's why the tension is building. That's why they're being very curt with each other. And yeah, it just keeps on.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
You don't understand what a signed pleading is?
No.
Okay. Do you understand that Mr. Depp's counsel prepared this and served it on Ms. Heard's counsel?
I'm not an attorney. I don't understand necessarily all of these procedures.
Okay.
Was it just me, or did you feel like Dr. Curry wanted to add the word bitch to the end of that sentence?
It's a coincidence, then, that you came up with symptoms of borderline personality disorder years later after Mr. Depp has been taunting Ms. Heard in an audio tape.
I can't speak to whether or not there's a coincidence. What I can tell you is my opinions are based on the results of my evaluation. No, as I said, I had not formed any opinions at that time. I had just been retained. What I'm saying is that the opinions in here, these are not my opinions. My opinions are provided in my report.
Can you please turn to page 255?
Again, I have to zoom in on Dr. Curry. Look at her face here. She is kind of all of us right now. Like, lady, I'm trying to tell you, my opinions are in my report. The thing she's pointing to on the screen is between the attorneys, and that's what she keeps trying to say is, I don't know what pleadings you guys are dealing with or you're writing in your pleadings. I'm a psychologist. Ask me about my report. So again, I love the energy between these two.
So no, it's not the task. I was cut off, or essentially what I said then was, no,
Dr.
that's
Curry,
not the task of Dash. That was never my task to determine. Can I say what that means?
No. And then the question is, so is it fair to say?
Tell me you caught the laughter at the end of that, because I sure did. I'm going to run that back.
No. And then the question is, so is it fair to say?
So the courtroom was literally cracking up because Elaine is being so rude to Dr. Curry, and Dr. Curry is kind of handing it all right back to her.
In that quote, Ms. Heard exhibits patterns of behavior that suggest allegations of abuse against Mr. Depp are false, end of quote. And what was your answer?
Well, there was an objection.
All right, I'll read it for you if you're having difficulty.
no,
Your
I'm-
answer.
So Elaine asks her a question. She tries to clarify, find the right spot, and Elaine says, well, I'll read it for you if you're having difficulties. Wow, Attorney Karen, pipe down.
Was under oath correct. That is not my opinion. That has never been my opinion. I've not, right?
Sorry, I hadn't found the page in time.
Okay. You said, no, I've not.
But I have
correct?
not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more
Yes,
time? That
you did
confused
not
me.
disclose in any of the designations or in your report that you had dinner and drinks with Mr. Depp, correct?
I did not disclose that I was interviewed by the legal team, no.
I asked a different question. Are you trying to resist that you didn't have dinner with Mr. Depp and drinks?
I'm not trying to resist that, but it's not quite right.
You
What
did
you're
have dinner
stating.
with Mr. Depp, did you not?
I did, with
And
his
you had
legal
drinks
team
with
and
Mr. Depp,
Depp.
did you not?
And what?
You had drinks with Mr. Depp, did you not?
Drinks were served. This was over 2 years ago. I may have had a drink with dinner, yes. And I understood that there would be a need to interview me and make an informed decision about my qualifications.
Correct.
So as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court, is to the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be. Now, when I take a case, my retainer agreement is explicit about that, and I discuss
Dr.
that
Crew,
with the attorneys.
I'm asking you a question. I'd like you to try to answer my
Okay.
question. You understand that if you found favorably to Ms. Heard and negatively to Mr. Depp, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be testifying.
Objection speculative.
No, okay, sorry.
Hold on. The objection is speculation.
That's not speculation.
Oh, I'll sustain the objection if you want to ask.
Okay. If it goes to bias, Your Honor.
I sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay, all right. You were, in fact, so excited about being involved in this case that you told your husband, even though this was a highly confidential matter, that you were going to be conducting the examination of Ms. Heard, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
You not only told your husband, but you told Ms. Heard that you told your husband, correct?
Ms. Bredehoff, that is not accurate.
What is accurate?
You're incorrect. That is not correct.
Is your testimony today under oath that you did not tell your husband that you were going to be conducting the examination of Amber?
That is my testimony.
So the question that was asked was because you brought muffins, you said, from your husband, right? You gave those to Ms. Heard, correct?
May I clarify what occurred so that we can stop talking about the muffins? What happened was that I was getting ready that morning. I frequently bring muffins to the office. My husband did happen to know that there was going to be a celebrity client coming in because on the mornings that occurs, which often occurs, we have to actually clear the office and move the staff to the other office. So yes, on the one hand, he was aware of that. I was getting ready. I asked him to go to the bakery near our house and pick up the muffins for me because I was running late. He often has to do that because I often do run late. He brought the muffins back to the house. I brought them into the office. Ms. Heard and I enjoyed the muffins together. I think I made a comment to her along the lines like, we can thank my husband, my husband got these for us today, meaning he purchased the muffins. We are now enjoying them because of him.
Gosh, I love Dr. Curry so much. Listen to her answers. It's so good. Can we just stop talking about the muffins? So good. Okay, listen to this interaction between the two of them. Even talking about like page numbers, line numbers, there's tension.
305, 306?
Yeah, that's where we're talking about it.
Is there a line you'd like me to look at?
You can start with 15.
So this is why I absolutely love Dr. Curry. I think she's so great on the stand. I think she did such a good job, and I love that she wasn't letting Elaine run over her with this whole dinner drinks narrative. And I just couldn't help myself with the counter on the screen. Just how many times she's gonna bring up dinner and drinks. I should have done the same thing with the muffins because my God, we heard a lot about those muffins. And I'm so I don't know, when I hear things, I get things in my head, so I had to go out and buy a muffin that day, but that's beside the point. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this one. If there's another person you want to break down on, please leave in the comments. Let me know all your thoughts, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Look out for muffins. Bye-bye.